What's up, guys? It's Bye here, and welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. Uh, Recently, I have a lot of new players asking me um, which commander you should expertise first, YSG or Alex. And to be honest, it's very difficult to answer that question because you are asking me to give you an option between two completely different commanders. uh, YSG and Alex, they do two different things. So, so because of a lot of people asking me the same questions, and I don't want to repeat myself over and over again, and I think that it would be a very good idea for me to actually make a video about this to actually go into the detail of which commander you should expertise. So I will show with you guys a Google sheet that I've been preparing. And I will also put the Google Sheet in the description box in this video in case you want to take a look at it later. So um, it's a dilemma, I can tell you. As a free-to-play player, you do not have a lot of universal sculpture. You do not have a lot of gems, so it's very tough. It's a very tough choice. When people ask me, it's very hard for me to answer. Um, like Alex or YSG. For like a free to play players, it probably gonna take you 250 to 300 days for you to max your first ever legendary commanders. So you cannot take the decision lightly, um, because you don't want to go halfway and be like, oh, this is the wrong choice. I'm gonna go back, and then you gonna end up with nothing. So let's go to the list of things that I prepare for you guys already here, so that you can decide for yourself. So first of all, you got to understand that YSG and Alex, they are completely two different commanders. They do different things. It's like comparing orange to apple here. It's very tough. So I put a list of things here, and hopefully they can help you decide on who you should work on. So first thing on the list is that both of the commander need to be expertise. So YSG need expertise to be great. You can get a much bigger AOE area. Uh, Alex also need expertise to be great because of his amazing debuff and a very huge debuff area also. So both commander need to really need to be expertise to be good on the field. Uh, YSG has very high AOE skill damage. Um, with that huge area, you can hit a lot more target on the open field. Alex by far have one of the best, if not the best, AOE debuff in the game right now. Amazing, like 30% damage boost up to 4 target got debuff. I can see right here, like they not exactly the same, so they do different things. YSG does not have any permanent stat boosts for infantry. Um, there are some like stat boost for archer, but we're not talking about archer here, right? But there are absolutely no offense or no defense stat boost for infantry. On the other hand, Alex, very high stat boost for infantry. Uh, if you think of Attila Takeda with very high stat boost, if you pair like Richard and Alex, could be very much the same, very high stat boost for an infantry march. YRG also do not provide any actual march speed for infantry. On the other hand, you can get a very good march speed increase for infantry from using Alex. So you are a little bit more like mobile on the field. YSG 50% skill damage increase work for himself, and if you pair YSG with another like nuker, it also apply for that nuker as well. So very high skill damage boost here. Alex debuff 30% damage increase. So it work for if you pair Alex with if you use Alex as primary and you put like a nuker as secondary, that secondary will get that 30% skill damage from Alex debuff, as well as the the whole, like all the troops also get the 30% damage increase. So both are very, very good, but I still prefer, I think the 30% damage increase from Alex debuff is better than the 50% skill damage from YSG, I think. But in case of YSG, because I think the 50% damage increase kind of like, I would say kind of even out, because YSG is also a nuker, so that 50% skill damage increase work for two commanders. As in terms of Alex, the 30% damage, like it doesn't work for hits, doesn't work for skill damage because Alex does not have any skill damage. So I would say even like both have very, very good buffs there. It depends on what you want. Um, so I mentioned earlier, YSE does not have any stat boots, so you cannot play aggressively for like, a march using YSE. You don't want to tank if you're using YSE. But if you use a march with like Alex, he has a 1200 or 1400 shield. He also has some defense when the shield is up, so you can play like a bit more aggressively on in mass PvP. You can take a risk. You can like dive into the area. Uh, I mean, dive in the enemy. You can tank a little bit, not like crazy tank like Richard, but you could tank a little bit. So you can afford to play a little bit more aggressively with Alex. YSG is a very, very good Garrison commander. Garrison for city, Garrison flags in KVK season 1, season 2 work very, very well. Also work really well for a lot of like PvE event like Shadow Legion. You can use him as one of the Garrison commander. Perform extremely well. Alex is not very good for Garrison because some of his skill only work on the field. So I think his second skill. Let's go back to the game real quick. I think his second skill is only work on when he on the map. So yeah, so it does. His second skill does not work when he is Garrison. So not the perfect Garrison commander there. Uh, so YSG can be used to rally some structure when the field control is needed. Let's say when there are a lot of enemy marches surrounding the flags, you can rally using YSG as second commander, and then you can provide that field support. And the enemy is not going to be able to swarm it or stand near the flag, so you can prevent them from reinforce the flag as well. Can also work well with some commander, like some nuker, like Genghis Khan. You can use Genghis Khan and YSG to rally a structure as well. Very, very high skill damage there from both commander with some of the field control. So can be used. Not many people using YSG to rally structure anymore after KVK season 2 because there are much better option. For Alex, very, very good rally structure using infantry can still be used in like season 1, not season 1, in season 2, season 3, season 4. Very, very good, very, very strong rally leader. You can pair him with, I think, Alex and YG could be a very, very good choice. YSG, you can use YSG to chain Barbarian if you know how to like kill multiple Barbarian at the same time. So because of its huge AoE skill damage area, you can kill multiple Barbarian at once, and you can save a lot of action points. Can also help you boost doing a KVK honor rankings, especially in KVK season 1, season 2. You can kill a lot of the Barbarian using YSG. Even for later KVK as well, as killing Barbarian is one of the main thing for you to boost your honors. And for YSG, you can save a lot of action points. But there are also other commanders that you can use to chain Barbarian as well, like Ethelflaed or Sanzu. It's just that you are required to do a lot of work. Using YSG can save you that extra work. You can just go there, and because of the huge AoE area, you don't have to move a lot. As for Alex, you cannot. It's not ideal for you to use Alex to kill Barbarian. So he's not like one of the recommended commander to use for kill Barbarian unless you need to level him. YSG do okay into the arms training event. If you remember the event that you had to kill Loher for like 10 level. Alex do extremely well in the arm training event. You can get a very, very high ranking using Alex. YSG perform well in Sunset and Golden Kingdoms event. Alex is one of the much needed commander for Sunset Cannon and Golden Kingdom, so he performed extremely well in Sunset and Golden Kingdom. YSG, you don't need YSG to be level 60. You can save a lot of gold stars. You can YSG is a perfect secondary commander. You don't need him to be level 60 unless you want to go into like archer and you need a primary archer commander. But if not, YSG you can just keep him at level 30 or level 40. Just as long as you can unlock 4 of his skills, and he's fine. Alex, if you want to use him as primary, you will need to use some gold star on him. Like he worked well as second commander for most pairings, but if you want to use him as some of the pairing for a little bit more DPS, like for rallying stuff, you're gonna need to get him to level 60. So, what's the recommendation for a player? I would say for YSG, super active free-to-play player who can use YSG to kill a lot of Barbarians to go faster. You could go into like the YSG path. Also, YSG is also very, very versatile. Can be used with many commander player. Can be used with many other commanders. So player who have not like decided yet, like if you want to like 100% focus on infantry, and you might think that maybe later in the future I might change to something else, I might change to carry or might change to like archer. YSG is a perfect commander for you because later on you can just switch to or you can use him with any other commander like carry or archer commanders. Also, for a player who enjoying getting a lot of kills from AoE damage in mass PvP, you need to be smart when play. Like just because you use YRG doesn't mean you guarantee to get a lot of kills. You need to maintain hit march, so it always has a lot of units. More units equal more skill damage, and that's the reason why you don't want tank using YSG. Even though if you wanna use a richer YSG or something, you still don't want to tank because you want to do damages. So you need your march to have a very high amount of units every time you cast the skill. So though as a recommendation for the type of players that you might want to go for YSG, for Alex, like player don't care too much about killing barbarians. You don't have a lot of time to kill barbarian. You have a limited amount of game playing times. Or like 100% infantry focused player. You know exactly that you want to be focused on infantry. So definitely go for Alex. Alex also performed really well in 1v1 duel. So if you like a player who enjoy like calling other player out and be, hey, you want to do a 1v1? Then by all means go with Alex, because Alex is more like a single target focus comparing to YSG is more like an AoE damage. You don't want to bring an AoE commander into a single like PvP match. So that's something for you to consider if you're someone who enjoy calling player out and do a hey 1v1 me right now. So Alex is the guy for you. Player with like aggressive playing style. If you one of those players that just like play very aggressively, like at the front line, tanking, doing all that, like soaking in all the damage. Alex is gonna be the better choice for you. And or someone who like to have more mobility on infantry, so you can maneuver on the battlefield. The extra 30% march speed. Let me check real quick here on Alex. I forgot his so march speed bonus 30%. So they're very mobilized infantry march if you using with Alex. So you can move very fast. You can like hit and run. You can get away from a swarm as well. Uh, very very like very good commander for infantry player. Uh, so another thing you want to look into when you decide to see which commander you want to expertise is that you want to look at the possible pairing. You want to see what commander you have already and what possible pairing you can use for the commander. So for YSG, you can use for infantry, you can use Chor YSG, Richer YSG, Sunzu YSG, Grandu YSG, or Leo YSG. For other like troop type, you can use Saladin YSG, Kusunoki YSG, Genghis Khan YSG, Mina YSG, Ethelflaed YSG, or Berber YSG. So there are a lot of possible pairing for like YSG out there. There are probably many more. I just didn't have time to list them all here. As for Alex, uh, you can use Richer Alex, Chor Alex, Alex Sanzu, Guan Yu Alex, Alex Leo, Leo Alex, Constantine Alex, Alex Airflow mixed troops. And for other troop type, you can use Saladin Alex, Genghis Khan Alex. So so are some of the options. So you go see at the list of the pairing commander and see what you have available or what you want to work on in the future, and you'll be like, hey, so it might be the better choice for me to go with this commander because it going to be my possible pairings. Because Alex and YG, they don't work by alone by themselves. They need an actual commander. So depending on what commander you have already, you might want to go with either Alex or YSG because alone, like them alone, is not going to do anything. You need a second commander. So what second commander you're going to have can very much affect on your decision to either to expertise Alex or YSG. So you want to look at the possible pairing and make the right choice. And last but not least is my personal recommendation. Uh, I would strongly recommend uh, I would strongly recommend you to go with Alex if you're an active T4 fighter and not planning to get to T5 soon. You will be able to be a lot more effective on the field with Alex. You can also have more room for error. You don't get punished too hard if you made a mistake for going too deep inside the match PvP. And I think you gotta be enjoy more using either Richer Alex or Char Alex. You just have a little bit more like into like infantry style focus playing style because your main job is tanking even though a T4 player if you have a very good strong solid true legendary commander you can perform still like pretty well you can tank some other T4 marches too. Just don't go tanking like a T5 marches or just go don't put yourself into the position where you get swarmed by like 5 T5 marches. That definitely is something you don't want to do. But I would say for T4 player, like infantry focused T4 player, Alex, I would go with Alex. You'll be able to enjoy more the game, like the infantry play style. Um, and for YSG, T5 player, if you like close to T5 or like a T5 player, and you like still deciding if you want to go with Alex or YSG, YSG will definitely get you more kills as your march lasts a lot longer on the match PvP. So that would be my personal recommendation for you guys. Thanks for watching, guys.